Please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please check it. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Please confirm to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please check it. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Right. Right. Good evening, guys. And some of you are new to today's session. And don't worry. Then few classes are completed. Few classes in the sense like what there. Introduction part we started there. Inside the introduction part, what we are discussing now, Java history we completed. Then after that, differences between Java and others. The topic we started in the differences between Java and others. What differences here we understood already. Nearly 2 to 3 differences I completed. Don't worry, for the new members, you will get notes and as well as like what there, the total video classes, whatever the classes we completed so far, that access also you're able to get. Don't worry, but it may take 1 or 2 days of time then to give that videos access, but try to follow the content here. Overall, then how many differences here we completed there between Java and others there? Almost all. 3 differences, I think so. 2 differences. Then what next one here? 3 differences. Third difference here we have to explain, right? I have not explained that, right? Third difference here I have to explain, but let us see the total content here, what you are going to understand now. All right, sir. In the differences between Java and others, overall, the first difference here what I have given, C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is what there? A dynamic programming language. What is the reason for it now? In C and C++ applications, memory will be allocated for the primitive data at a compilation time. In any programming language, if the memory allocation is going on at a compilation time, then that programming language is what their static programming language. Next one, C and C++ are the examples for it. In any programming language, if the memory allocation is going on at runtime, not at compilation time, then that programming language is what their dynamic programming language. Examples are what their Java and Python. All right, next difference. Second point here I said to you, preprocessor is required in C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. What is a preprocessor actually? Preprocessor is the first phase in the compilation process. Then what is the purpose of the preprocessor in general? In C and C++, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of header files. Tell me guys, what are the various header files here now? stdio.h, conio.h, math.h, and so on. In C and C++ applications, to include header files, we have to use hash include statements. What are these hash include statements now? Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, and hash include math.h. If we compile and execute, if we compile C and C++ program, then preprocessor will perform some actions. What are the various actions which are performed by preprocessor there? First understand it, what I am telling to you guys. Preprocessor will recognize all the hash include statements. Preprocessor will take all the header files names. Preprocessor will check whether these header files are available or not in the C and C++ softwares. If these header files are not available, error will come. If these header files are available in C and C++ softwares, no, immediately preprocessor will load that header files content to the memory. Loading predefined library to the memory at compilation time is called as static loading. So preprocessor will perform what there? Static loading. Answer my point here. So here the requirement of the preprocessor is what there? To recognize hash include statements, in order to load header files content to the memory, we need what there? What we need there? Preprocessor in C and C++. but preprocessor is not required in Java. Preprocessor is not required in Java. Why it is not required in Java? That we have to understand now. Observe carefully. In Java, the complete predefined libraries existed in the form of classes and interfaces in what their packages. What are the examples for these packages? No, java.io, java.util, java.sql. In Java applications, to use predefined classes and interfaces, we have to use what their import statements, import packages. No, then what is the examples here? Import java.io.star, import java.util.star, import java.sql.star. Here, what is the meaning of the star actually? All classes and interfaces from java.io package, java.util package. Package is nothing but collection of classes and interfaces. I want to get all the classes and interfaces into my Java program. For that purpose, we are using what there? Star notation. Right, sir. When we compile a Java file, compiler will perform some actions. What are the actions? No. Compiler will recognize all the import statements. Compiler will take all the package names. Compiler will check whether these packages are available or not in Java software. If these packages are not available, compiler will raise an error. If these packages are available, then compiler will not raise any error. At the same time, compiler will not load any package content to the memory. It is not C and C++, it is a Java. In Java, compiler is responsible for only checking whether the packages are available or not. Compiler is not responsible for loading any predefined library to the memory. Okay, fine. This is compiler responsibility. But what JVM responsibility they know? What is the responsibility of the JVM in Java? No? All right, sir. Observe carefully. In Java, JVM is responsible for loading predefined libraries to the memory at runtime. This type of loading the library in Java is called as what their dynamic loading. Why? Because in Java, predefined library is loaded at what time there? At a runtime, not at compilation time now. So because of that reason, Java is following what their dynamic loading. Right, sir. In Java, preprocessor is not required. Why? Because in Java, hash include statements are not existed. Got my point or not? Hash include statements are do not existed because in Java header files are not existed. Right. So this is what actually the conclusion I've given. Then after that, I've given one important interview question. What's that question I've given there? What are the differences between hash include statement and import statement? Hash include statements exist in C and C++, whereas import statements are exist in what there? Java. Hash include statements are able to include the predefined library which existed in the form of header files, but import statements are able to include the predefined library which is available in the form of what there? Classes and interfaces in the packages. No. Hash include statement is evaluated by preprocessor. Import statements are evaluated by both the compiler and JVM. Hash include statements are supporting static loading, whereas import statements are supporting what their dynamic loading. To include more than one header file, we have to write more than one hash include statement. Hash include yesterday.gauge, hash include conio.gauge, hash include math.gauge. To include more than one class or interface of the same package, then it is sufficient to write only one import statement. Like what they import java.io.star. In java.io, so many class and interface are available. All of them we are able to get at a time by using single import statement. Right, sir. Then after that, third difference here we have to understand clearly. What is the third difference here? We have to understand there no C and C++ are what they are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is what they are platform independent programming language. Yes, right, sir. Now let's observe carefully this point here. This is our required information. Everybody understand this now. Before understanding C and C++ are platform dependent or platform independent, before understanding this particular point, first of all, tell me when a programming language is a platform dependent programming language and when a programming language is platform independent programming language, that we have to understand first. After that, we will think how C and C++ are platform dependent and how Java is a platform independent. That points we are going to understand in the future. But first of all, we have to understand when a programming language is platform dependent and when a programming language is platform independent. I'm giving one simple definition. Try to understand the definition now. Observe carefully, all of you know. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, not on different operating systems. I get my point or not? If we compile and execute, that means if any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution both on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems, then that programming language is what their platform dependent programming language. For our information, I'm typing the point here. Now try to understand it clearly. First of all, here what we have to understand there, if any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is called platform dependent programming language. Platform dependent programming language. Can you tell me what are the examples for platform dependent programming languages? No. What are the examples for it? No. C and what next one? No. C++. C and C++ are acting as what their platform dependent programming language. All right, sir. Now again, I'm asking this question to you. Now try to answer for it. When a programming language is platform dependent programming language, no. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems, then it is called as what their platform dependent programming language. Got it or not? All right, sir. Then after that, I'm telling one more point here. Observe carefully. Examples are C and C++, but how C is a platform dependent? How C and C++ are platform dependent? What are the reasons why C and C++ are platform dependent? What internally the reasons are available? Right, I will give some clarity, try to understand it now. All of you put more concentration. I'm going to give one simple diagram here. Everybody, observe this diagram now. For example, I have taken C program here. What I have taken here? C program means the .c. C program in the sense that file extension is what there? .c. Observe carefully. After that, whenever we are having .c, then what next one? No, I need to compile the program. So here we have to go for what there? Compilation. Compilation. When we compile C program, automatically here we are able to get one file. Of course, so many files here we are able to get now, but I required only one file. What is that file here we required here now? Observe carefully. .exe file. Okay, observe carefully what I'm telling now. But if you want to perform compilation, definitely here we need one operating system or not? Okay, fine. Let us now decide what is that operating system. Next one is, after that, whenever we are getting this .exe file there, we need to execute that program. We have to execute this program. Execution here we have to do. This is like what I'm telling to you, execution. Who is going to execute our program there? C engine. Who is executing our program there? C engine. To execute our program also we need an operating system. This is an operating system. Then after that we have to get some output. What is that output here? We have to get there after executing our program. There we have to get some results, some output, whatever it may be, some value here. All right. Now this is basic structure here. We can understand. One time observe this total diagram here. First of all, we have taken what file here? No, .c file. Then we are trying to perform compilation. I will fix that operating system. Don't worry. When we compile this program, here what we are getting there, .exe file, here we are getting. When we give the .exe file to the execution C engine, there we are able to get what there, some output here we are getting. Alright sir, observe carefully. As per the definition, compilation we are going to do on like what there, Windows operating system. Okay. As per the definition, at runtime also I must use what there, the same Windows operating system or not. At runtime also we have to use what there, the same Windows operating system here we have to use. Am I right or not? But for the discussion point of view, for proof point of view, I don't want to take Windows operating system here. I want to take what there, Linux operating system. Everybody understand my word? For 5 minutes of time, assume it. For execution, we have taken what there, Linux operating system. Get my point or not? Now understand it clearly. Put more concentration. Don't deviate. Try to understand it clearly. All right, sir. When I compile my C program on Windows operating system, .exe file is generated or not? In this .exe file, what we are having actually, right, sir? Some executable code here we are getting. Some mission code or executable code here we are getting. All right, sir. Now I want to give some comment here. Now try to understand it clearly. .exe file contains directly executable code. .exe file contains what there? Directly executable code, and it is having the local operating system representations, and it is having the local operating system representations, the data representations. Observe carefully. Operating system to operating system, the data representations are varied. Don't think about the common data representations are available in every operating system. Windows is having one type of data representation, Linux is having another type of data representation, Unix is having another type of data representation. Definitely the data representation point of view, some variation is available. Executable codes are going to be varied. Now observe carefully guys, all of you know. C program we have taken. We compiled C program on Windows operating system. So this .exe file is generated. This .exe file contains directly executable code, and it is having the local operating system representation. Which operating system representations? No. Local operating system is what there? What is that local operating system? No. Windows operating system. Local operating system representations. It means that Windows operating system representations are available. Now this .exe file is what there? Windows represented .exe file. Got it or not? Okay, nice. Now tell me guys, all of you now tell me, for a moment of time, my execution is going on which operating system? Linux operating system. That means C engine is available on which operating system? Linux operating system. Now what it able to understand actually, what the Linux operating system is able to understand actually, observe carefully. C engine is able to execute, C engine is able to execute only Linux representations, Linux represented executable code. C engine is able to execute only Linux represented executable code. Why? Why it able to execute only Linux represented executable code? Why? Because C engine is installed on the top of what there? Linux operating system. Observe carefully. Here C software is required on Windows operating system. Here also C software is required on Linux operating system. We compiled C program on Windows. We got .exe file. That is as per the Windows representations. But now C engine is available on what their Linux operating system. It can execute only which operating system representations? No, only Linux representations. Observe carefully. Now I'm giving point here. Now try to understand it clearly. Exactly in this situation, if I give Windows represented .exe file to the C engine, if I give Windows represented .exe file to the C engine, is it possible for C engine to execute that Windows represented .exe file? Is it possible for C engine to execute Windows represented .exe file? Possible or not possible? Not possible. Why? Because C engine is available on what there? Linux. It able to understand what there? Linux representation, but we provided what there? Windows representation. So some incompatibility is available or not? Some mismatch is available or not? Because of this reason, our program will not be executed. Because of this reason, our program will not be executed. But now, if you want to make it is possible to execute, if you want to make it is possible to execute, then what we have to do there? Only one option. What we have to do there? Only one option. We don't have any other option. In place of Linux, we have to provide the same Windows operating system. We have to provide what there? The same Windows operating system. If we provide Windows operating system, then what will happen? What is the status of the C engine now? If the C engine is available on Windows operating system, it able to execute only what? It able to execute only what? Now Windows representations are not. It able to execute only what? Windows representations. Now understand the point here. What is going to be happen now? We have written C program. We compiled our C program on what operating system? Windows operating system. We got .exe file. This .exe file is having which representations now? Windows representations. Now C engine is available on which operating system? Windows representation. Then it able to understand what their Windows representation. We have given Windows represented .exe file. Now C engine is also be expecting Windows representations. Now here match is available or not? Compatibility is available or not? Now automatically my C engine is able to execute our program or not? Obviously, automatically my C engine is able to execute our program or not? Then because of that reason, here we are getting outputs directly. Now tell me, execution of C program is depending on the operating system where we compiled or not? The C program execution is depending on the operating system where we compiled or not? That's why, because of this reason, C and C++ are what? Because of this reason, C and C++ are what? Platform dependent programming languages. Because of this reason, C and C++ are what there? Platform dependent programming languages. Now observe carefully, all of you know. Now I'm giving this diagram also here clearly. But before that, I want to write one point here. Understand it clearly. The same, whatever the explanation I've given there, same point I'm telling you. Try to understand it now. If we compile C and C++ applications in Windows operating system, then compiler will generate Windows represented.exe file. Windows represented.exe file. Right, sir. Windows represented.exe file. To execute Windows represented.exe file, we must use the same Windows operating system for execution. We must use the same Windows operating system for execution. Observe carefully what I am telling there. Right, sir. 1 minute. Right, sir. This is what exactly the meaning of like what there, like platform independent. So here, what is the point I'm telling there? In the above context, C and C++ programs execution is completely depending on the operating system which we have used for compilation. So C and C++ are what? C and C++ are what? Platform dependent programming languages. Guys, this explanation is very, very important. Don't misunderstanding this one. Don't forget about this one here. So why C and C++ are platform dependent? I given some reasons clearly. Got my point here? Right. Leave this point here. Now this is the content here. Then after that, now coming to the platform independent programming languages. Tell me, I'm asking this question to you. Now try to answer for it. Tell me, sir, when a programming language is platform dependent programming language, you want to tell me when a programming language is platform dependent programming language, give the answer for it now. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is what their platform dependent programming language. So please remember this. Whatever the definitions I'm giving, right from statement to statement, that entirely we have to deliver. Interviewer may not give this kind of hints to you. Interviewer will ask, tell me when a programming language is platform dependent programming language. Then we have to give the total definition there. Nobody will give hints to you. So you should be in a position to talk completely about that particular punch. Right? All right, sir. Now, similarly, when a programming language is platform independent programming language, when a programming language is platform independent programming language, quite opposite of it. When a programming language is platform independent programming language, all right, sir, observe carefully. If any programming language allows to perform compilation is on one operating system. Observe carefully. Compilation is on one operating system, and execution and what there execution is on another operating system. Compilation is on one operating system and execution is on what there another operating system. Then that programming language is called as what there is called platform independent programming language. Platform independent programming language. Observe carefully. If any programming language allows compilation is on one operating system and execution is on another operating system, then the programming language is called platform independent programming language. Got my point or not? Compilation on one operating system and execution is on another operating system. That's okay, fine. Example is what there? Java. Example is what, sir? Java. Java is an example for what there? Platform independent programming language. But here the question, how Java is a platform independent programming language? As per the definition we are saying there, if any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation is on one operating system and execution is on another operating system, then that programming language is platform independent programming language. I to understand that. We understood this point here. But how Java? Example for this platform independent is what there? Java. But how Java is a platform independent programming language? Right, sir. Now further we need to understand some points here. Now try to understand it. No, I want to give some diagrammatic representation. Try to observe this clear. All of you guys observe carefully. One diagram here I'm going to provide. Put more concentration. How I'm going to prepare this diagram now. Right, sir. Observe carefully. For example, I want to take Java file here. This is what there .java file. Clear? This is what there .java file. Clear? I want to compile this program. Now here I have to go for what there compilation. Compilation. When we compile this program, listen carefully. In Java, only one type of file after compilation. What's the type of the file here we are able to get? No, the type of the file is what there .class file. All right, now here I'm going to use one operating system also. Don't worry, I'm able to provide one operating system also. Now observe carefully, all of you know. Up to know what I completed here. I have taken .java file. The .java file I'm trying to perform what there compilation. After compilation of my .java file, what I'm getting here no .exe file. In Java, before compilation .java, after compilation .class. That's it. No other file is available. Only two files. Nice. What operating system I will decide later on. Don't worry. Then after that, after completion of this, as per the definition, compilation is on one operating system and execution is on what there another operating system. Now I want to give as per the definition. Try to understand it. Now here I want to execute this program on multiple operating systems. I want to execute this program on multiple operating systems. What are these multiple operating systems now? All right, sir. Now this is one-time execution here. Then here I want to get some outputs. Now this is like what I'm telling there, execution. Now here we are getting like what there some outputs. From this execution here we are getting some output also like this. Here we are able to provide match. Now here I want to use one operating system also for this execution. Like this, how many times we want to execute our program there? Once we compile that program, then we can execute the same program in any number of times. In a different operating systems, we can run the same program in any number of times. Same program we can run in any number of times. Right, sir. Understand this clearly. Now I want to confirm the operating systems. I want to compile the program on Windows operating system first, initially. One-time execution I want to perform on what their Linux operating system. Another time execution I want to perform on what their Unix operating system. Another time execution I want to perform on like what their Mac. Another time execution I want to perform on what they're the same Windows I want to take again. Again, same Windows I want to take, of course. Now all of you understand it clearly. I've taken Java file. I'm trying to compile my Java file on Windows operating system. I got .class file. I'm trying to execute the same .class file in how many operating systems? No, 4 operating systems. How many times we compiled our program? 1 time. But how many times we are executing our program? 4 times. Recognize my point here. 4 different operating systems here we have taken. Clear? Now understand it. What is going to be happen now? When I compile my Java file on Windows operating system, automatically here a .class file is created or not? When I compile my program on Windows operating system, here we are getting .class file or not? Yes, here we are getting what there? .class file. What is this .class file actually? What is the nature of the .class file now? Observe carefully. .class file contains bytecode. Please all of you recognize this point here. This is very important. .class file contains which code now? Bytecode. .class file contains bytecode. Okay, fine. What is this bytecode actually? It is not directly executable code. What is this bytecode actually? It is not directly executable code. Okay, it is not directly executable code. So what is this actually? It is an intermediate code. What is this bytecode actually? It is an intermediate code. Understand this clear? It is not directly executable code, but it is what there? An intermediate code. And this is another important point. And it is not having, observe carefully, it is not having any operating system representations. It is not having any operating system representations, including Windows. Please try to compare this .exe file and .class file. There we are getting the complete difference. .exe file. One time if you rewind this .exe file contains what there? Directly executable code. And it is having local operating system representations. What is that local operating system representation of Windows? But .class file, what is the nature of the .class file? No, .class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. it is an intermediate code and it is not having any operating system representations, including what? Windows. Even we compile our program on Windows, still dot class file doesn't have Windows operating system representations. All right, sir. Okay, fine. That's okay. The nature is okay, fine now. But the point is what there? If I want to execute this dot class file on a Linux operating system, the dot class file must have Linux representations. Understand my point? Compilation is okay. Dot class file doesn't have any of the operating system representations. That's okay. But if you want to execute this neutral dot class file in a Linux operating system, this dot class file must have Linux representations. If you want to run this neutral bytecode on Unix operating system, that bytecode must have Unix representations. If you want to execute this neutral bytecode on Mac operating system, it must have Mac representations. If you want to execute this bytecode on Windows operating system, it must have Windows representations. If you want to execute bytecode on any of the operating systems, no, that bytecode must have that operating system representations. Again, almost the same problem we are getting or not? What are the problem in the case of the C and C++? We are getting the same problem or not? Exactly in this particular situation, to make Java as platform independent programming language, exactly in this particular situation, to make Java as platform independent programming language, to run Java applications on multiple operating systems, Java has provided converters. A set of converters are provided. A set of translators are provided, or a set of converters are provided. Where exactly these converters are provided here, observe carefully. Java has provided converters exactly in this location. Java has provided a set of converters exactly in this location. Here one converter is available, here another converter is available, here another converter is existed here, and here another converter is existed. All right, sir. Now I'm going to ask one question to you. Now try to answer for it. Now this is like what there, one converter, and this is like what there, another converter. All right, sir. This is another one. Observe carefully. I'm going to give one conclusion clearly. This is another converter. Everybody, observe carefully now. Tell me, guys, how many converters are provided here now? 4. Tell me, what is the job of this converter now? The job of this converter is taking this neutral bytecode as an input, converting this neutral bytecode into Linux representations. Then Linux representation execution is going on with the Linux represented bytecode. Output here we are able to get. What is the job of this converter here now? It will take neutral bytecode as an input. It will convert that neutral bytecode into Unix operating system representations. Then automatically that execution is going to be performed again. So we are able to get some outputs directly. What is the job of this one here now? Observe carefully. It is able to take neutral bytecode as an input. It will convert that neutral bytecode into what their Mac operating system representations. Then it will be executed. We are able to get output. Similarly, what is the purpose of this one? It is able to take neutral bytecode as an input. It is able to convert that neutral bytecode into that Windows representations. Then automatically that Windows representations are executed by this execution process. Then we are able to get output directly. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? All of you are getting clarity on these points or not? All right, sir. Now tell me here. Whenever these converters are available, automatically our problem is solved or not? Now Java program is able to run in multiple operating systems successfully or not? We are able to compile Java program one time. We can run the same Java program in multiple times or not? Then we are able to get outputs effectively or not? Got it or not? But here the question is, how these converters are provided by Sun Microsystems? How Sun Microsystems has provided these converters? Where these converters are available? How we are able to get these converters? If we come for this particular point, understand clearly, no? Java has provided these converters along with the execution process in a single component. Java has provided these converters along with the execution process in a single component. And here this converter as well as like further execution in a single component. Conversion and execution both are provided in a single component. The name of the single component, the name of the single component is called as JVM. Right, sir. Now here the name of the single component is what there? JVM. Then here also be like what there? The name of this component is called as what there? JVM. This also be like what there? JVM. Java Virtual Machine. Now I'm asking one question to all of you. Now try to answer for it. What exactly the responsibilities of the JVM in Java applications? No, two responsibilities are available. What are the two responsibilities? No, conversion plus execution. Conversion and execution. What is the meaning of this conversion? No, converting neutral bytecode into local operating system representation. Bytecode with local operating system representation is called as native code. Native code. Got my point or not? This is neutral bytecode. This neutral bytecode will be converted to local operating system representation. That is what their native code. So converting bytecode to native code, executing native code. Converting bytecode to what their native code and executing that native code. They are the two responsibilities of what their JVM. Is that all of you get my point or not? The JVM responsibilities are two: converting bytecode to native code and executing that native code. Good. Now I'm asking one more question to all of you guys. Now try to answer for it. How many times we compiled our program? How many times we compiled our program? Only one time we compiled our program. Am I right or not? But how many times we executed our program? How many times we execute our program? 4 times. Means that 4 times we require JVM or not? 4 times we require JVM or not? But here my question is, all 4 times, how many JVMs are used? Is that only one JVM or 4 JVMs? Come on, think and give the answer. Is that only one JVM or 4 JVMs? One JVM or 4 JVMs? Right, sir. Answer for this question is 4 JVMs. Not one JVM, 4 JVMs. I can give reason also. Now the answer is what there? 4 JVMs, not one JVM. Why, sir? Why 4 JVMs? Why not one JVM here? Answer is very clear. Try to understand. Try to remember this point here. Java is a platform independent programming language. No doubt for that. Java is what there? Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. See the diagram here? Java is a platform independent programming language because of what? Because of JVMs only. If you know JVM, there is no concept like what there? Platform independent for Java. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is a platform dependent. But JVM is what there? Platform dependent. Understand my point here? Java is platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is what? JVM is what? Platform dependent. Because of that reason, 4 JVMs I'm telling there. First JVM is what there? Linux based. Second JVM is what there? Unix based. Third JVM is what there? Mac. Next one is what there? Windows based. Understand it, sir? Say for example, what I'm giving clarity to you. Listen carefully. Windows compilation we are performing on Windows operating system. Think of it as a computer, is one computer. Got my point or not? Now here I'm using overall 5 computers. For compilation, one computer, 4 times execution, 4 different computers. In first computer, Windows operating system. In computer 2, Linux operating system. In computer 3, Unix. Computer 4, Mac. Computer 5, what there? Windows. Overall 5 computers I have taken. Assume the situation now. Got it or not? Fine. I got compiled my program here. Dot class file is generated or not? Neutral bytecode. So what I will do there? I will take pen drive. I will copy this dot class file from my first computer. I will go to the other computer where I will paste it. I'll copy the dot class file from my pen drive to this one. There I'm going to execute the program without recompilation. Without compiling again the same program, just I want to execute the program on Linux. Definitely program will be executed. We will get output. Got my point or not? Understand it again here. Same pen drive is available with me with the dot class file. I'll go to the third computer. There I will paste my dot class file and Unix operating system. I'll execute it. I'll get output. Same dot class file on Mac operating system. I'll execute it. I'll get output. Same dot class file on what their Windows operating system. I'll get output. Sir, all of you get my points or not? All of you get my points or not? So what's the point here I'm telling there finally? The point is what there we can compile one time. We can execute the same program on any of the operating systems. There we are able to get output. Got my point or not? Okay. Somewhat more deeper. Try to understand it, no? How many computers here we have used there? 5 computers we have used. Am I right or not? Okay. Observe carefully. In computer 1, Java software is required or not? For compilation of the program in the sense Java software is required or not? Okay. Now here we are going to compile. We are going to install the Java software that is as per what their Windows operating system. Understand? First of all, conclusion now. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is what their platform dependent. Not only JVM, the total Java software. Java software means that Java compiler, JVM, and Java profiler, Java documentator, Java signer. All the tools are nothing but Java software. The complete Java software is a platform dependent. Now here for compilation we are using one computer where Windows based Java software I have to install. After that only I am able to compile my Java program on Windows. Next one, in a Linux operating system there is also one computer is available. There I must have Linux based Java software. Then only I can execute the Java program on Linux. On Unix also I must have Java software. That should be Unix based Java software. Then I'm going to execute the program. On Mac operating system, Mac related Java software I must install. Then only I can execute my Java program. If you want to execute Java program, Java software is required or not? Which Java software can we have to install there? Depending on the operating system. If it is a Mac, no, Mac related Java software here I have to install. If it is Windows, no, Windows related Java software here I have to install. Sir, all of you get my point or not? So which operating system we are using, the corresponding Java software you must be installed. Now tell me, how many Java software here we have to install overall? 5 Java software here we have to install. Am I right or not? For one is for what their compilation and remaining 4 are for what their execution. 5 Java software here we have to install. But how many Java programs we prepared? How many Java programs we prepared? Only one Java program. But how many times Java software we have to install? 5 times here. My program is independent of the operating system or not? My program is independent of the operating system in the sense my programming language is independent of the operating system or not? But Java software is what there? Java software is what there? Depending on the operating system, we install Java software or not? That means the Java software is a platform dependent or not? My program is independent, but Java software is what there? Platform dependent. Guys, understand my point clearly what I'm telling now. My programming is what there? My programming language and my program is platform independent, but Java software is what there? Platform dependent. Everybody understand my point clear? Simple example. One simple example. Anyway, you understood this point here. That's okay, well and good. But simple point here I'm asking there. Try to understand this now. So here, number of students are attending. For example, 50 members are attending. Out of these 50 members now, listen carefully. Out of these 50 members now, 10 members coming from BTech. 10 members are coming from MCA. 10 members are coming from BSc. 10 members are coming from MSc Computer Science. Remaining 10 members are coming from BCA. Got my point or not? If we observe the syllabus for each and every group, BTech syllabus is different, MCA syllabus is different, BSc syllabus is different, MSc Computer Science syllabus is different. Java only. The subject is what there? Java only. But syllabus point of view difference is available. Got it or not? Okay. Now what I'm telling to you, now I'm teaching Java. But all the category of people are sitting in front of me, but I'm teaching Java. Observe carefully. But I used to cover all the syllabuses in my class. I used to cover all the syllabus in my class. So for me, the Java is independent of the groups. But for you, the Java is as per the syllabus. That means you have to check whether these concepts are as per your syllabus or not. You are dependent. But myself is what there? Commonly, I'm teaching the content. Myself is what there? Independent of your syllabus. I'm able to teach Java throughout the by covering all the concepts here. So I'm not thinking about your particular background. I'm teaching Java as usual. But what we have to check there? You have to check your syllabus is covered or not. So you are dependent on your syllabus, your background, but myself is not dependent on what their your background. Myself is common for everybody. So myself is a Java program, but you are what they know Java softwares. You are dependent on your platform, but myself I'm not dependent on your platform here. So myself is independent, but you are what they're dependent here. Got my point or not? Similarly, Java programming language and Java program both are platform independent, but both are platform independent because of JVMs only. But JVM is what they're platform dependent. Not only JVM, the total Java software, which includes Java compiler, JVM, Java documentator, Java profiler. All these tools combination is nothing but Java software. The total Java software is what they're platform dependent. Right, sir. Now I'm going to show one more proof here. Now try to understand this proof. No, what I said, Java programming language is what they Java programming language is platform independent, but Java software is what they platform dependent. I want to show some proof. Try to understand it now. Say for example, I want to download Java software, Java downloads. Okay, Java downloads. I want to provide this. Observe carefully, guys. I want to download Java software. Okay, better. I want to go for somewhat older versions there. Say for example, Java 7 downloads or maybe Java 8 downloads. I want to provide the Java 8 version downloads. Guys, all of you observe carefully. Now see, this is Java version with respect to what there? Java with respect to Linux. Some of them are Linux. Java version for what there? Mac. Java for what there? Solaris. Java for what there? Windows operating system. Now tell me, in your point of view, if you think Java is not platform dependent, if it is Java is a platform independent, that means Java software is a platform independent, why these many links and as per these many operating systems? No? Why they are giving like this? Why they are not giving only one link for every operating system? Sir, got my point or not? So what is the meaning of it now? Java software, whatever the software we are trying to download, that should be what they're dependent on the operating system or not. So now finally now tell me, Java software is a platform dependent or platform independent? Java software is a platform dependent or platform independent? Platform dependent. But Java is what there? Java's programming language. Java programming language is what there? Platform independent. Java program is what there? Platform independent. But Java software is what there? Platform dependent. Java compiler is what there? Platform dependent. JVM is what there? Platform dependent. So these are the various points here we have to understand clearly. Right, so now this is the total awareness here we can understand what exactly the meaning of platform dependent and platform independent here we're understanding. Now let us observe carefully the point here. Example I've given there, but I want to give the diagram also clearly. Whatever the diagram here be provided here, now I want to paste it for our better understanding purpose. Right, sir, it's okay, but I want to give some points here. Understand these points, no? Right, what I'm telling there, when we compile Java program in a Windows operating system, then what will happen, sir? Now tell me, when we compile Java program in Windows operating system, compiler will generate what file there? Now tell me, dot class files. Now tell me what these dot class files are having there, where dot class files contains what that one contains what there? Bytecode. Where dot class file contains what there? Bytecode. What is this bytecode here? It is not directly executable code. It is not directly executable code. Then what is this one? It is an intermediate code. It is an what there intermediate code, and it is not having any operating system representations. It is not having any operating system representations. Observe carefully. Now this is exactly the meaning of like what there. Alright, sir. Dot class file here we are getting. That's okay, fine. Next point is in the above context. In the above context, to execute that neutral to execute neutral bytecode on any operating system in the above context, to execute neutral bytecode on any operating system, then the bytecode must have the same operating system representations. Got my point or not? So to convert neutral bytecode, to like what that one can know, operating system representations, we have to use converters. We have to use what are converters provided by Sun Microsystems. Right, sir. Sun Microsystems has provided this converters. Right, sir. How these converters are provided by Sun Microsystems here? Observe carefully. In the above context, Sun Microsystems has provided the required converters along with the execution. Execution in the form of what? In the form of JVM. Alright, sir. The basic awareness I given there. Now try to understand it. No, in the form of what? The JVM. Alright, sir. Now I'm giving one point here. In Java, the main purpose of JVM is to what there? To translate program from bytecode to native code. What is this native code, sir? Bytecode with operating system representations. Right, sir. This is called as what their native code, and to execute what there, and to execute native code. Right, sir. In Java, the main purpose of JVM is to translate program from bytecode to native code and to execute native code. This is a purpose here we can understand. Now coming to the conclusion. What is the conclusion, guys? Now tell me here. Java is a platform independent programming language. Because of JVMs only. But what's the conclusion here? But JVM is a platform dependent. Right, sir. Similarly, one more note I'm telling there. Not only JVM, the complete Java software is what their platform dependent. The complete Java software is what their Java platform dependent. That's it, guys. Now this is what exactly the point here I'm telling to you about this. Try to recognize this point here clearly. That's okay, fine. Overall, how Java is platform independent, how Java software is a platform dependent, that points here we understood clearly. Right? All of you are getting clarity now. Now I'm asking one important interview question to all of you. Now try to answer for it. My question is very clear. What about my question here? Tell me the differences between .class file and .exe file. We have seen .exe files up to now, and .class files also we understood. Some few differences we identified there. Now tell me what exactly the differences between .class and .exe. Question here. What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? These differences here we have to understand. Right, tell me what do you know about this. Up to now we have some confirmation here. What we got some points here. First one is what there. In which languages both are existed? Now tell me. .exe files exist. .exe files exist in C and C++. But whereas .class files exist in Java. This is the first difference here we understood. Next one after that. What .exe files contains, what .class files contains. .exe files contains a bytecode. Sorry, .exe files contains directly executable code. Got my point or not? Directly executable code. But whereas bytecode .class files contains what their bytecode. It is not directly executable code. It is not directly executable code. Right. Then after that, point number 3. Next one is, observe carefully. .exe file is a platform dependent file. Am I right or not? .exe file is what? Their platform dependent. It contains platform dependent code only. Platform dependent file. But .class file is platform independent file. It doesn't have any platform representations now. Neutral bytecode is available inside the .class file. So it is what their platform independent file. One more point. Observe carefully. .class file is able to provide lesser security. .exe files is able to provide what their lesser security. I'll give some reasons here. .class file is able to provide more security. .exe file, .class file is able to provide what there? More security. Guys, observe carefully what I'm telling you. .exe files exist in C and C++, whereas .class files exist in Java. .exe file contains directly executable code. .class files contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. .exe file is a platform dependent file, whereas .class file is platform independent file. .exe file is able to provide less security. .class file is able to provide what there? More security. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Why this security point of observe carefully. In two directions I can give the answer. One is security point of view, Java is very good when compared with the C and C++. So definitely C is providing less security, Java is providing what there? More security. In that point of view also we can understand .exe file is providing less security, .class files are providing more security. That's point number 1. Point number 2, here what I am telling to you, observe carefully. In general, in outside, maximum viruses are coming in the form of .exe files, but no virus is coming in the form of what their .class file. Observe carefully. Then we have seen so far number of times here. Maximum number of viruses are coming in the form of what their .exe files, but no virus is available in the form of like what their .class file. So in this point of view also we can understand security is not good with .exe file, but security is very good with what their .class file. Right, so now this is what exactly the meaning of like what their platform dependent and platform independent programming languages. C and C++ are platform dependent, but whereas Java is what their platform independent programming language. Observe carefully, guys, what exactly the points I discussed today. Today only one point here, but important topic I discussed with you. In general, most of the people are giving these statements now. C, C++ are platform dependent and Java is platform independent. That's it. If you ask the question why C, C++ are platform dependent and why Java is a platform independent, no answer for it. But whenever we are giving a statement, we have to justify that point here. We have to give the clear-cut answer for it. That's why here I'm giving the total clarity. Even the document also were given clearly. Now try to understand it now. First of all, what is platform dependent programming language? If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then the programming language is called platform dependent programming language. Examples are C and C++. In C and C++, if you compile the program on Windows operating system, then compiler will generate a Windows represented .exe file. To execute Windows represented .exe file, we must use the same Windows operating system for execution. In the above context, C and C++ programs are programs execution is dependent on the operating system which we have used for compilation. So C and C++ are what they are platform dependent programming languages. On diagrammatic representation are given there. Then after that, if any programming language allows compilation on one operating system and execution is on another operating system, then the programming language is called platform independent programming language. Example is what there Java. When we compile Java program in Windows operating system, here compiler will generate .class files. Compiler will generate what there .class files. Observe carefully. Where .class files contains bytecode, it is not directly executable code, it is an intermediate code, and it is not having any operating system representations. In the above context, to execute neutral bytecode on any of the operating system, then the bytecode must have the same operating system representations. To convert neutral bytecode to the operating system representations, we have to use converters provided by Sun Microsystems. In the above context, Sun Microsystems has provided the required converters along with the execution in the form of JVM. All right, sir. The conclusions I have given there. In Java, the main purpose of JVM is to translate program from bytecode to native code. Native code is what their operating system, bytecode with operating system representations, and to execute that native code. This is the responsibility of what their JVM. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is what their platform dependent. Notice what there, not only JVM, the complete Java software is what their platform dependent. There are given one diagrammatic representation also, compilation and execution, the JVM, all the concepts can be understood. Finally, we have some comparisons. What are the differences between .exe file and a .class file? .exe file exists in C and C++, whereas .class files exist in Java. .exe files contain directly executable code. .class file contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. .exe file is platform dependent file, whereas .class file is platform independent. .exe file is able to provide less security, whereas .class file is able to provide more security. So this is what exactly the point here we understood there. Third difference here we completed there. The next one is here we have to go for like what there. Fourth difference. The fourth one is like what there. Pointers are existed in the C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. Pointers are existed in C and C++, but pointers are not exist in Java. This is the next point, guys. Right? So this point we are going to understand in tomorrow. Then time may not be sufficient to give you an introduction part. Tomorrow we'll see this point. Tomorrow topic is also important. Tomorrow the topic is also important. Then please try to come for the class without failure. So tomorrow we are going to understand the remaining content. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, that their design actually. The companies are not giving that. That C vendor is not provided that. They want to strictly on operating system basis. Why? Because then you might be aware about one or two features of the C++ programming language. Maybe all programming language features may be dependent on the operating systems, maybe internally. Because of that reasons might be they are not thinking about platform independent. They are thinking about what their platform dependency only. That is their main motto. But Java vendor main motto is what they are not to bond with any one operating system. They are to bond with what they're all the operating system. That's in this direction they have implemented Java. Okay. 12th నుంచి maybe 12th, 4th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16 up to 17 class 5 days overall. పర్లేదండి వీడియోస్ ఇస్తాం కదా ప్రాబ్లం. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. I'll see the remaining content. Okay. Thank you.